Oh boy, I love playing Cyberpunk on the big screen. The really, really big screen. This desk is maybe a little bit too small for the 48-inch, I think. Now, if I'm sitting up this close, the camera obviously can't understand how my eyes work. Like, the focal length is not the same, so this looks incredibly close. But I will change the camera to more accurately look like what field of view I have. This is probably about what I see just in my immediate vision, sitting where I typically sit. This right here is probably about where I would be if I'm sitting down. And that is the perspective. So honestly, having this desk length, I don't think makes me feel cramped in terms of like eye strain, but in terms of being able to reach my arms out, I do think that having 25 inches is kind of a little on the short side, which is why I am going to do something else. But before I do that, let me walk through how I have everything here. So, CRT monitor. In the back corner, we got my audio here. Keyboard, I have a laptop that I keep over here that this isn't a resting place. I do actually use it right here. So that's why I have two mice. I have like an awkward angle that I use this at, so having more room would really help me with that. And then let's check the back. We got that. So this is the TV and that's the stand, and I actually let it hang off the back a little bit. It's not fully touching the back. I did actually pull it up, so I do have even more room, but a lot of the weight is just in the center and in the stand. So you can actually, if you let your desk hang out, you can have it out a little bit and not have to worry about that. And then of course I have the microphone arm. I got my little light right there. And then mostly that is the light. This is more just for, contrast? That's not really the right word, but it kind of is what it is. This is a little IKEA countertop. As you can probably tell, it's gotten some wear and some tear on it, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. Really, the only thing I had to do is I had to cut it to a size I wanted, and it wasn't great. You could definitely have a cleaner looking cut than I did, but I'm going to a new desktop, so I don't even care. Just how good is a desk that is split up into 3 pieces? I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. Why are you asking me? It's kind of sinking in just how big 71 inches is. There's 3 of these. If you're wondering about packaging, they do have these little, here, I'll do a closer one. They have the little corner protectors. And as you can see, they seem pretty decent. Okay, so I have 2 boards, and they got these little holes right here. And you know what we do with them? We fill them up with pegs. Here, there's a little visual for you. So once the pegs are in, you put these little metal pieces on, and basically they kind of clasp the panels together and secure it. You screw them in. Yeah, you can kind of see the screw in there, and it brings it together. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to make everything 100% flush, which honestly I did expect, and you should probably expect it to be maybe better than this, maybe worse than this, depending on what you're getting. But that's what happens when you get this, you know, paneled set, is it doesn't go perfectly together. Wow, it actually looks like it blends really well on camera, and in person, it looks pretty good, actually. I went ahead and mounted everything. It was kind of difficult, so I didn't show it off. I tried doing it from the bottom first, and lining up the screws was so awful that I went ahead and I flipped this onto the ground, and then I picked this up and I laid it on top, which is under the recommended, but I thought that that was going to be a pain to like flip this thing from laying on the ground to up, but definitely go with that. Now I need to do some light cable management. What do these 2 things have in common? I'll give you a second to think about my genius plan I have, and that I have no idea if it'll work, by the way. Does it somehow make more sense? maybe now. I'm very confident that this is a plan. The quality of it, we'll find out. Mason here, under the desk. I've heard people have had good luck with smacking peanut butter on things to use it as a marker, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Hopefully there'll be two little blobs right there in a second. It's kind of important to have your expectations pretty low. This one maybe is fine. The screw's sideways, so I don't know. Maybe it's fine. And the other one has two blobs. So I'm just gonna get drilling and maybe this works. I decided to go for one in one thing and one in another because it lines up pretty well with this if I want to have a cable there. But also, you know, kind of spread the balance out a little bit. So I was a little paranoid about the placement on it, so I ended up measuring them out anyway. So maybe just do that to begin with. Also, I'm gonna show you my craftsmanship. This right here is a screw that I started without a pilot hole. I literally just kept using the screw. This one, I used a crappy drill bit that I never use. Still not built for cutting through things, but it's just something I didn't use, and it just immediately went in. Oh my god! Like I don't really work with wood or anything. I'm doing this because this is a desk. I do stuff with computers, but please make a hole. Use the right tool for the job. Don't do this. This literally probably took like 2 minutes. Me like holding it really hard, and it kind of hurt. And this was like 30 seconds, and it just turned out way better. Just do it right. All right, guys, I think I did it. I found the new strat. Massive time save on the power bar mounting speed run. You should just use zip ties because this thing is still wobbly as hell, and I've been hit on the face twice with it because it just falls out from the screws. They're awful. Don't use them. So right about here is how far my previous desk went. Right where that mouse pad is about the cutoff of where the other desk ended. And now I have about an extra 5 inches here that have been added, and it seems really nice. And just how much is that? Let me visualize for you. So right about from here all the way to here, this is 18 inches of gap. And then if I continue, we go all the way to about 23. Now, if I follow the lines of this, you will unfortunately see some seams, and if you were here in person, you can feel the bump. So if we keep going, ooh, that one's even a little worse. But if you want to actually look at how the pattern and everything flows, it actually doesn't really look super out of place. If I'm just sitting here, you can see that I sit kind of in between the seam. My right arm goes on this side and my left goes on here. I don't even notice it. Like, this is actually very nice. Like, I'm very happy with it. So this is absolutely not the cheapest thing in the world, especially if you're used to buying IKEA stuff. But for me personally, where I live, IKEA stuff absolutely kills me in shipping. So something like this would cost a lot to ship if I was to buy it from IKEA. $180. I went into this knowing it was 3 sections and that it wouldn't be absolutely seamless and perfect, but I'm actually really happy with this. Wow, this looks pretty good, huh? But wait, this looks a little different. Yeah, I moved everything to a completely different side because I decided I liked being able to be in bed and watch things. So here it is. Here's the desk. It's nice. I like it. It does have some issues. It's not a perfect desk by any means, but it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. If you have any questions, any concerns perhaps, if you want to talk about edge runners, maybe, you know, any of these things, give me a comment.